Good morning, everyone. Andy Tuttle here with the Tuttle Group at Fairway Mortgage, and welcome to another edition of the DFW Weekly Market Update. We do this every week just to make sure that you know what's going on in the market, how that impacts rates, and how that affects you when you're out there looking to buy a home. And so we'll go over the mortgage-backed security market here in a moment, and we'll talk about some of the events that happened this last week, where rates may be heading, and what that will do to your payments and cost scenarios and offer prices and all that. So this week, a big story out of all the things that happened was really inflation. Now, first, the Fed minutes came out on Wednesday, and they talked about a potential, more than likely, rate hike in December. The wholesale inflation rose a little bit, but at the end of the day, the consumer inflation, the consumer price index, and the core consumer price index, which is what the Fed really likes to look at to gauge what the market is doing, showed tamer than expected numbers. So when inflation is out of control, that's bad for bonds, which means rates go higher. When inflation is below the target, then it's good for the bond market. And so right now, inflation is below the target. They still want to hike rates because they feel that the market is continuing to grow. We did have lower jobless claims than expected. That came out this week as well. But at the end of the day, right now, since inflation is still below expectations, we are in a good spot here to see some improved rates, at least in the short term. So let's go to the charts. So this is, again, a mortgage-backed security chart. The higher, this is a price chart, so the higher the price, the lower the rates. You can see, and vice versa, the price has fallen since September. We've seen rates jump up about 0.3% to 0.5%, but just recently, just this week, because of the inflation news, the Fed minutes, etc., we saw a nice rally come back. So if you look technically, we have gone above this big resistance here at 103, and we are in between. If we can open here on Monday above this purple line right here, we're going to be in a tight squeeze range, and we're going to have to see some good bond-friendly news next week. Now let's take a look at the calendar and show you what that's going to look like. Okay, so you're going to see really the market moving news is not going to hit probably until Wednesday and Thursday. Housing starts, building permits, those kinds of things will affect it. These other numbers are not just aren't typical market movers, but so it's going to depend on the technicals. So we'll see what happens with the stock market. Remember, stocks and bonds compete for the same investment dollar. So as they battle, we'll see what happens earlier in the week, and we will be in a floating strategy until then. So if you get a contract over the weekend, we'll probably float you going into it. But just remember, if you got pre-approved in early September, late August, rates are probably a little bit higher now, so you want to talk to your lender, if it's not us, about a good lock strategy for you. Obviously, if you're with us, we'll go over that lock strategy and the timing together and look how we'll play it out next week. So happy hunting out there. Call us if you need us. You know we're here for you. We're excited for you. Hope you find that home of your dreams, and we'll be here to help you with the financing. Take care.